Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Disney with the Ducks. We are on episode 47, and tonight I'm your host, John Crawl, and we've got the entire flock on tonight. So, Lonnie, how are you doing tonight?
Doing well, John. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Jeff, how about you?
Doing great. Thanks for asking, John.
Good. Kevin?
Doing good. Ready for Christmas.
Me too, man. Me too. All right, Gene, how you doing?
Dandy, good sir, and you?
That is a very nice response.
I think he was just waiting for this one. He's like all queued up and ready to go.
And we've also got Jody with us tonight.
Good evening.
Good evening. All right. So before we get into tonight's episode, like we do every week, we want to ask a question of the Ducks so all you guys as our listeners can get to know us a little bit better. So the question tonight, if you could live anywhere in the world, 1 year, all expenses paid, and you bring your family with you, where would you guys choose to live? Anywhere in the world, and you don't have to worry about cost or anything, and your partners and kids can come along too. So you're not leaving anybody behind. Let's start with Jody.
I struggled with this question because there's a lot of places that I want to visit and a lot of places I want to see, but I haven't gone yet. So I don't know if I'd want to permanently reside there for a year. That's a pretty long commitment. So as creative as I would like to be with this question, I didn't have enough time to ponder the answer. So I'm going to stick with a place that I know and love, which is Sonoma, California, because the weather is perfect. There are vineyards. I don't have to worry about my kids being uncomfortable because of, language stuff or anything for a whole, a year. They're fine for a year. So I'd love to give you a much more creative answer, but I don't have it in me tonight. So someplace I know and love.
I mean, that would be high on the list of guesses if somebody asked me to guess what you would have picked. So yeah. You guys love food and wine, and that seems like the perfect spot for it. Gene, what about you? Where are you going to move for a year?
Man, this is difficult too, because I think, as Jody said, I mean, you have to, all those things you have to think about, the language, things like that. What happens with my job? I mean, like, is it just, they're going to save my place? We're just assuming
it's seamless.
It's so difficult as I think through this, John. Don't mess this up for me, Kevin. I'm thinking as much as I like the beach and, the sun and all that kind of stuff, that I would want to go to like Bora Bora, one of those things over the water. But then I think, do I want to do that for a year? As of right now, yes. 3 months in, maybe not. I don't know. But that's that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, John.
It's probably going to be beautiful, staring out into the ocean and just sitting in a beach chair. That'd be nice.
I don't know if I want those other people with me, though, if I'm going to be doing that.
No,
I'm just joking.
Or
are you joking?
Yeah,
don't you?
You're not.
No, I am joking.
You're going to have to bribe Jeff to cut that out. All right, Kevin, I'm going to give you 1 year anywhere in the world. Where do you want to go?
I think I'm going to pick Australia. Never been there, but there's so much diversity of different things you can do there. I mean, you've got the beach, you've got the outback. I'd like to be an outback bush pilot, flying around, checking it out, going to the Great Barrier Reef. There's lots of things there that I've always wanted to go. And I think there's so much to do. It's an entire, country, continent, whatever, and kind of by itself. And there's unique animals there. I think it would take an entire year just to really experience it. So that's
Are you a pilot right now?
I'm not a licensed pilot.
So I was just wondering if that training was going to be part of your
last night. So
I was just wondering if that training was going to be part of your year. If you had, that was before that. I just didn't know.
I can count the hours that I've flown. I am a drone pilot, but yeah, I do have my license to fly a drone. Just not with people over other people.
And not to rain on your parade, but you've heard of spider season, right?
Yes.
There are like more animals there that can kill you than any other place in the world. So I just want to make sure you know that before you commit to this year, Kevin.
Surely one of those spiders could give me powers and I could climb.
Well, there's that.
The funny thing about that is Gene and I was talking about that
today.
Today. We had a 10-minute conversation about why we wouldn't go to Australia.
That's what makes it better, right?
Right.
And also, exactly. Kevin, you picked an entire continent.
Always cheat.
Okay,
Always cheat.
fair enough. All right, Jeff, what about you?
If it's something like this for me, where I'm just independently wealthy and I don't have to worry about work or doing anything like this, I would say I'm joining Gene somewhere in the Polynesian Islands, but not close to Gene. I'd go
Come
away
on,
from
man.
him
Come on, man.
and just be completely secluded. Just be me and Rye with no cell phones, no access, nothing. I'm sure that she would love that as being a 15-year-old
You
teenager.
wouldn't want to visit on the weekends
Stuck
or
with her
anything?
dad.
I don't know. We'll see. At least not for the first 6 months, Gene.
Okay.
You know,
All
we
right.
we
I
had,
see. Okay.
and then just completely cut off from all civilization. Don't see other people. Kind of going like the whole Castaway kind of deal, but with a little bit more amenities than a soccer or volleyball. But I think that'd be my.
That's an interesting choice though, to just go somewhere completely cut off. But hey,
I think I could do it.
Hold on, wait a minute though. I didn't know that we could pick a continent.
Yeah, so that's me
Well,
too. Because
I brought that
want
up a
Asia.
little while
I just
ago.
want
Now I'm
Asia.
gonna go edit my answer because Kevin kind of like that wasn't fair.
You
So-
really took a country though, just because it's a
Yeah,
continent. You
it's
still just have
anywhere in
one
the world,
country.
right? I was gonna say the space station, but that's not on my list. So
And well, I don't know if you want to go to the space station. If something happens in space, no one's going to hear you scream.
that's right. That's right. That's true.
Oh boy. All right. So, Lonnie, where are you going to move to for a year?
Lisbon, Portugal.
I thought he was going to say Wakanda.
got pinpointed.
Yeah, what about Lisbon has you interested?
Oh man, Lisbon ranks in the top 10 for safest city, most diverse city, best healthcare. They speak fluent English there as well. Then you have access to Spain. I can catch a quick flight, go to Morocco. They have beach, they have everything. I mean, literally, it is, and they're very friendly to Americans.
Oh, and
a lot of
that's
Americans
important.
have relocated there.
I think I did read something about that retirement homes there are much more cost effective than even buying them in like the southern US.
Yeah, I tried to convince my wife to move there. She's not having it at all. I said, "We're retired. Let's go to Lisbon." She's like, "Nope." So it's all just a dream. Just a dream.
Huh. All right. And then
But if I can go there for a year, I might be the convincer for us to roll over.
Yeah. And that's what I like about the year. It's enough time to really like get to know a city and an area, and that kind of get some of those experiences because it's more than just a tourist. Yeah.
I think somebody's a little bitter down there.
Kevin's getting spider season. He's getting
Okay, I'll go to Sydney.
Sharks.
I'll live in Sydney. I'll go to Sydney. That's a good city.
Wallaby Way.
Wallaby Way. That's right. I may work at a dentist
P.
office.
Sherman.
Or an Outback. You can work at Outback.
And Outback in the Outback?
Yeah.
Hi,
Whoa.
mate.
That's so meta, isn't it?
Whoa.
John, how about you?
Okay, so I've thought about this a lot because that's just what I do. And I was initially thinking London because I just think it's such a cool city and whatever. But then I was like, well, Paris would be better because it's beautiful. And I've never been to London. I've been to Paris and I know how awesome it is. But then I was also thinking like somewhere on the beach in California, probably Santa Monica area because I really like it there. But I'm really cheating here, Kevin, because I've just named like 37 places. But no, I think the one I landed on though was New York City. I would but it would have to be in Manhattan by Central Park, and that's what I would want to do because I'd want to run in Central Park every day. There's a lot of really good restaurants I love in that area. Just such a fun, exciting, energetic city. So that's where I'd want to go. So
Don't get any picante sauce from there though.
New York City.
Oh, that's a throwback commercial. Oh man!
Thank you, Kevin, for picking that up, though, sir.
I got you.
Okay, so tonight, what we're going to get into is the Crescent Lake Resorts, which are located on Disney's Boardwalk. Those four resorts actually are Boardwalk, Yacht Club, Beach Club, and then we've also got the Swan and Dolphin, which is technically not a Disney-owned property, but it's one of the Good Neighbor hotels. And these resorts are all walking distance to both Hollywood Studios and to Epcot. So it's almost like a perfect location if you're into those parks, which, I mean, for me, I know my family, we love Epcot. We love Hollywood Studios. So, the 5-minute walk to Epcot and about a mile or so walk, 20 minutes to Hollywood Studios is such a benefit of staying there. But first, I want to kind of go around and ask everybody what your thoughts are on the Boardwalk Resort. So, Boardwalk Resort is really cool. It's kind of themed after the whole theming, I guess, of Disney's Boardwalk, right? Have all you guys stayed there before?
We have. That's our to-go resort if we can get into it. Usually we're down there during festival seasons. We'd like to be able to walk to the studios and stuff. So if we can get into the boardwalk, that is our go-to resort.
Yeah, like Jeff, I think Boardwalk is one of my favorite resorts, not just for festival season, but for run Disney events. I stayed there for the springtime surprise. I do like its proximity to Epcot. To your point, Carl is one of those places that, look, I can get to 2 parks basically by foot, right? Another thing is with the boardwalk. Now, I will say this: it does need a little bit of refurbishment. The rooms are kind of showing their wear
That's starting
now.
to spring, actually.
They're starting. There you go. So they're starting in the spring, which would be excellent. But that resort, I really like where it is. I think we'll get to some of the things I think they can do better. But they are revitalizing the boardwalk now, adding a lot of things, a couple of restaurants and stuff like that. I'm sure we'll talk about that. But the boardwalk is one of my favorites.
Yeah, and it's one of my favorites too. We stayed there twice, I believe. Yeah, we've stayed there twice, and the clown pool kind of creeped me out. So I'm in the camp of I'm glad that's gone. But no, we really liked it. Just like you said, the location is amazing. I mean, you're at Epcot in about 5 minutes, and that's not something you can do really anywhere else on property other than these couple of resorts. But the boardwalk, the one thing that we found odd, we were the last room at the very, very end in the DVC area. And those hallways are very long after a long day at the park.
Not Kidani
So-
Village long, but they're close.
Yeah, it is a big resort. It is a big resort. But if you get close to the lobby, I think I told this story before in a previous podcast. I was hungry and walked out my room, walked into the back of Epcot, went get some fish and chips, went back to my room, and they were still hot by the time I got there. Right, so it's like literally perfectly placed for that because it kind of opens up a lot of dining options. At that time, I actually had park reservations anyway. I was there earlier, but decided to go back and get something to eat. But yeah, it's.
I think that's listed on the boardwalk page as the International Food Court.
Oh, really?
No.
I know, but I just want to put it out there and say, really.
But yeah, so boardwalk, Lenny, I mean, you mentioned dining, and we know on the boardwalk itself, there's a lot of good dining options, right? ESPN Zone. I don't know. Have any of you eaten there?
Well, not since it closed like 3 years ago.
Did it really? No. Oh, it did. It did because of COVID.
I'm sorry, John.
I'm bummed because it was good.
I didn't realize it was closed. I actually was looking at the restaurants. I was like, "Where? I know I've eaten there before."
Yeah, Gene, we've eaten there before.
Right, I know, but I've eaten there for work for
It was
work as well.
good.
Yeah, it closed about 3 years ago.
It's currently being reimagined into a new restaurant. So.
Oh, when we ran by it for Marathon, yeah, it was.
It still has
wasn't
a
open
sign
then.
up there, but now I think they took it down and they're doing that bakery. That bakery.
Something, yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's going in there. Okay. Yeah, I don't need another bakery. Okay, so here's the problem I have with Boardwalk. They don't have a good quick service restaurant, right? Because you have to go to the Boardwalk Bakery. To me, it's just that's one of the ones that I'm just not a fan of it.
Yeah, I mean, they did open up a new sandwich shop. The name escapes me. It just opened up maybe about a month ago. Boardwalk Deli. The sandwich shop, Boardwalk Deli. Get it together, Lonnie. You're a podcaster. But yeah, so you do have that.
And there's a new coffee shop that's opening soon too. So
And the bakery.
Yeah, and there's a pizza place that's right there as well.
Yep,
Pizza is pretty good there.
Yeah, that
the ice
walk-up
cream's
pizza
legit,
window.
too.
Mhm.
Yep. But it's not you can't buy it by the box anymore. It used to be a pretty decent deal where you can get a whole box for like $25, $26.
Yeah.
And now it's by the slice for like 7 or 8.
Oh.
So they kind of took that away.
Chapek.
But if
Taking her
you're
pizza.
standing there in line and turn around, do a 180, there's a nice margarita shop.
There is.
Right there, yeah, right on the boardwalk.
Mhm.
That is true. There's a couple of good places as you're walking around to grab drinks. Abracadabra is one of those places I never really went to, and then last trip I met one of my buddies that lives in Orlando there, and it's a fun place to hang out. There are so many people there. They make really good drinks. It's just a really cool environment.
I think my
You know,
favorite part is
Boardwalk
the
is based
lawn
off
too,
of.
like right up there. Oh, I'm sorry, Jody.
Oh no, I was just gonna say Boardwalk in general, the actual theme of the resort is based off of New York and the boardwalk in New York. And it's kind of got that old-timey kind of flashy, not casino vibe, but almost, kind of a little not gangster, that's not the word I'm looking for either, but it's got
But like
that New
Boardwalk
York, New
Empire type.
Jersey.
Yeah.
Yeah, New York, New Jersey feel. Which is not my personal cup of tea. It's just not what I enjoy. And there's a lot of nightlife and action going on there. So that's actually what I don't like about it, because even with teenage kids, I don't, when I get back to the resort, I just kind of want to chill and relax. I don't want all that in my face. Like I've already had enough stimulation in the day. So for me, it's just not my personal favorite. It's out of the area over there. It's just a little too much for me, too much on, and glitz and glam and bright lights and glitter, and just a little too much in my face. So I don't ever seek it out. And I mean, if I want a trip there, I'd certainly go, but I don't see me choosing to stay there or go there for any reason.
Wow, and see, that's what you mentioned is really what I like most about the resorts on that. Other than the walkability to the parks, is the fact that they've always got something going on. So, I have little kids, and when they go to sleep, my wife goes to sleep early. That gives me something to go do. I can even just walk circles around there and people watch and stuff. It's just,
Oh, no,
to
that I
me, I
like.
like having
Around
that.
the lake, I like. That's nice.
Yeah.
But the actual strip right in front of the boardwalk gets a little too much
Gets
for me.
too crazy.
That strip
Yeah.
has some other good restaurants and stuff too, John, that we be remiss to not talk about. Trattoria and Al Forno's there, which is a good Italian restaurant. Flying Fish, I've never eaten that, but they said that's one of the top-rated restaurants on property.
It's one of
Yeah,
my faves. Shocking. I know.
Uh,
I know you guys are shocked by that.
and Big River Grill, which we ate at for the first time the last trip, and it was very good. So
Yeah, and okay, let's talk about dining, I guess, as a whole for the boardwalk, because the boardwalk in itself doesn't really have great dining options, or really any. But Jeff, some of those ones you mentioned, the Trattoria al Forno, they have a awesome character breakfast with like Prince Eric, and I forget who else is there, but
used to be Flynn Rider and Rapunzel.
that's what it was. Yeah. Yep. And then they had Prince Eric in there too with Little Mermaid, with Ariel. And so that was really fun. We had one of our best experiences at Disney at that character dinner or character breakfast. And the food's great too. But we've never had dinner there though. Has anybody eaten dinner there? Okay. So that's a good one to try. And then Jeff, one of the other ones you mentioned, what was it?
Big River
City
Grill.
Big River Grill.
Yep,
That one down on the end of the boardwalk there towards the Hollywood studio side, right?
correct. hmm
I think you guys went there last trip.
We did.
What was the atmosphere inside there?
It would remind you kind of like an Applebee's. The big menu, big portion sizes, a lot of variety, but good food. For dinner for Disney prices, you're not paying Disney prices, I guess, for
2
the
for
same.
20?
Not they don't have the 2 for 20. No free appetizers with it.
Is there
Sorry,
Bourbon Street steak?
there is not a Bourbon Street steak. There could be. I guess I didn't look for it, but we really enjoyed it. It was a very reasonable meal for big portions, and you can get into it very easily. So
Do you feel good in the neighborhood when you eat there?
I did.
Oh, well, that's a big plus then.
It was
Just like the Swiss flag. Okay. What? Okay. But there's back to the boardwalk. So there's also a couple of dance halls too, right? There's
Yeah,
Jelly
no, it-
Rolls, the piano bar, and then there's the Atlantic City Dance Hall. And I think those are both. Are those open yet?
I know for sure the one is, but I don't know if they
Okay.
both are or not.
But yeah,
What do you
those
mean?
are-
Wait, what do you mean yet? As far as Jelly Rolls, is it only open certain
No,
times
Jelly
of year?
Rolls
or
is
what do you-
open.
Yeah, I've been to Jelly Rolls a long time ago, and yeah. So I didn't know
It's
if
the
it-
other one that we don't know if it's open, the dance hall. But Jelly Rolls is open.
Yeah. Okay. And those are two fun
Yeah.
places to go visit too.
I
So
can't get anybody with my family ever go to Jelly Rolls, but for work when I've been there before, I love it. It's just a fun atmosphere. The dueling pianos, just a lot of fun.
yeah. Yeah, and those dueling piano bars are always so cool. Especially you get songs that everybody knows, everybody
Mhm.
starts singing along. So yeah, that is always a fun activity. All right. And then when we look at dining options at the Boardwalk Inn, there's also a lounge up there, the Bellevue Lounge. I don't know if they have food, but it's a nice place
Limited.
to go and relax after a long day at the park and maybe have a drink or just get an appetizer or something. But
Mhm.
that's a nice little lounge too,
Mhm.
kind of up there in the middle of the lot or above the lobby there.
And hey, John, at this point, are you including Swan and Dolphin as part of this? This whole group of
We'll talk
dining
about
we're
them.
talking about. Oh, we're gonna
Yeah, we'll
keep
talk
that
about
separate.
them.
They're
Yeah,
different,
yeah.
similar but different.
Yeah, we'll talk about that separately. So yeah, but shopping wise though, if you want to go shopping at the boardwalk, they have that really cool store and it's huge. And they have a lot of cool like resort specific
Mhm.
merchandise. Like they always have like Nike golf shirts there with the boardwalk logo. So I think that's one of the better resort shops.
They also have the art store there. Have you ever walked through the art store?
Oh no, I haven't.
Right behind that gift shop is like a art museum kind of thing that has pictures and paintings and sculptures, and it's very interesting to walk through as well.
Okay, awesome. I'm gonna have to
And,
check that
and
out.
and
Yeah.
for the record, the dance hall is open. So yeah,
Oh,
both are
good.
open.
Oh,
The Google
perfect.
machine told me.
That Google
It knows it all.
everything.
Mhm.
Yeah, it really does. Um, okay, so yeah, so they have good shopping options there as well. And from an entertainment standpoint, I mean, we kind of talked about it being right on the boardwalk, and it's something all these resorts share. There's a lot of cool street entertainers, and there's like those old timey carnival game type things that they
Mhm.
set up. So it's a really fun environment at night, and they have mimes and magicians and musicians. Um, exactly, Lonnie. Yeah, and the mimes are very good. They're excellent at miming. So yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of good entertainment options there. I think it kind of skews towards the more adult or like teenage and up crowd, because there's not a ton for little kids like actually out on the boardwalk. But one of the things that's awesome is they just like a lot of the Disney resorts, they have a grassy area where they put on movies in the park or movies on the lawn at night, and it's really fun because that's a cool environment. Because then you've got everything going on in the background and then you're watching the movie, so there's a lot of fun you can have with that too as a family. You have some things for the older kids in the background on the boardwalk, little guys can watch a movie, and mom and dad can grab a margarita. So I think that's one of the cool things about that resort as well.
Yep.
All right, is there anything else about the boardwalk resort that we didn't discuss that you guys think is useful for our listeners?
No, I really enjoyed Boardwalk, so it's like I said, it's one of my
Mhm.
faves.
I
Yeah.
like a nice run around. Y'all talked about the lake, but I've run around there. It's just a good place. It's just a cool atmosphere. I can't speak to the nightlife really. Y'all mentioned, but in the morning, it's pretty groovy.
Yeah, Gene, that's a really good point because it's an awesome place to go for a run.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Yeah,
Actually,
Chris-
when I was there the last time, Lonnie reminds us when I say I've only stayed at a value resort. Lonnie reminds us that I've stayed at the yacht club. When I was there for work, and I was running around there, and there are several mornings a week there are runs. Basically, they're not races, but they're Disney runs. When I was there anyway, I don't know if they're still doing this, but you could sign up, and I don't know if you run with a group or you just sign up and do it. But start every, not every morning, but morning at a certain time, and just get out
Yep.
there and run a certain distance.
And actually, Gene, you just brought up a really good point about Crescent Lake. The resorts around Crescent Lake are all deluxe resorts. There are no moderate or value
Mhm.
resorts around Crescent Lake. So that's big money. So if you're staying around Crescent Lake, your proximity to Epcot and Hollywood Studios, because you can walk to either and it's so close, I think that's what you're paying for. So unfortunately, there's no moderate or value resort. around the lake area.
And
So if-
Jody, when you brought that up, something else I just thought of too is Boardwalk has Skyliner transportation. The Epcot stop is right outside of the Boardwalk Resort. So, right, if you're at Beach Club or your Boardwalk or
Crescent,
Yacht Club.
Crescent Lake, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean that stop is right there. So anybody around there is going to be able to use the Skyliner really easily, which is a huge benefit.
Yeah, John, you make a good point. Not only the Skyliner, but you also have the boats there as well that can get you to Hollywood Studios if you don't want to take that walk. So it's one of the, when you're at the boardwalk, or I mean, you can get there from Beach Club as well. You have to walk just a little bit further, but it's one of the few places where you can actually have three modes of transportation, four if you count the buses. But to get to the resort, it's easier just to hop on the boat or walk, or get on the bus, right? So you can get to your, you actually can control where you go a little bit quicker.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yep. All right, so we also have another resort on Crescent Lake is the Beach Club. So Beach Club and Yacht Club, I think get grouped together a lot. They're similar architectures. They're connected. They share a pool. But we'll look at them separately because they are completely different in terms of theming and everything. And with Beach Club, it has this really cool like beach town vibe, just like you would expect from the name. Have you guys stayed at Beach Club before?
We actually stayed
Yeah.
club level there a few years ago.
Oh, did you have your monocle with you?
I did. It was one of those trips where you start at a value resort, then it's like, oh, it's only this much more to just do a moderate, and you kind of move up, and then by the time your final payment comes in, they had a special, so we could really go up to deluxe, and then just kept. And by the
Yep.
time you're done, you're way out of budget. So
That Disney math.
it is.
That's how we end up with like 3 extra days on every trip because
Exactly.
well, we might as well add a day at the end because it's cheaper to fly home then, of course. And then let's add a day or two at the beginning. Yeah. But it's beautiful how it works out.
It is.
But yeah, so Beach Club has, I think, like food wise, one of my favorite restaurants, and that's Beaches and Cream. I love that place. I can go there and get the No Way Jose as a main entree, like I did last trip with my kids, or you can go in there and get like a French dip sandwich and then still get some type of ice cream for dessert. But if you're really nuts, you can get the kitchen sink. And have you guys ordered that before?
We have.
Oh my God, it's so fun. So we've done it for our entire family at the time, which was like, I think 5 of us shared this thing and there was still ice cream left. But I mean, you order the kitchen sink and they start having alarms go off. So they have flashing lights and, the wait staff makes a huge deal out of it. And the whole restaurant starts applauding for you. And they bring you out this sundae in a huge bowl. And it's literally got every topping they have in the restaurant. So they everything but the kitchen sink basically. And it's really good. But
My only problem with that, the only rule I had was you had to put into the bowl separately, because by the end of it, it would just be a spoonful of slobber, and that's not good.
But that's part of the joy of it, Jeff, is you're sharing that slobber with your family. Come on, man.
I
but
do
yeah.
love cream. The No Way Jose is one of my favorite things. We were there this summer. We stayed at Beach Club for 2 nights. We actually rented DVC points, so we stayed DVC side, and it was a nice resort. I liked it. I love the proximity. I love the pool was great. Even the quiet pool was nice. We enjoyed that to get out of the chaos of the big pool. But Beaches and Cream, I mean that we just sat outside. It was a hot night eating that No Way Jose. It was awesome. I could have chocolate and peanut butter every night though and be perfectly happy.
Yeah, and that is so good. It's so delicious. But that's one thing, Jody, you talked about sitting outside there. They actually have a walk-up ice cream window too. So if you just want to get ice cream from there and sit somewhere on the boardwalk, there is a walk-up window because that place can be difficult to get reservations to.
We just went to the walk-up window and sat right there outside the beach club and ate our ice cream. I think Tim had a beer and we had ice cream.
Yeah, and that like Beaches and Cream. So it started as a really small restaurant. I mean, it was nearly impossible to get reservations there. But then, 2 years ago, they expanded it and basically doubled the size. So it's lost, I think, a little bit of the charm and a little bit of the authenticity of it, but at the same time now you can actually have a realistic chance to get in there, which is good. But there are other dining options too at Beach Club. So has anybody been to Cape May Cafe?
I was a long time ago before COVID happened, whenever it was the all you can eat crab legs and stuff, and it was okay. Nothing's overly special for me, but I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
know they do have a character breakfast now that a lot of people enjoy. If you can't do Chef Mickey, or if you don't want to do Chef Mickey, it's a great alternative to see some of those characters if you're at Crescent Lake Resort or near Crescent Lake.
Yeah, and I think we've talked about it before too, where like those character meals can, if your kids are into that, it's definitely worth the additional money, especially if you're going to buy a meal anyway, because you save so much time and you get 3, 4, 5 characters coming to your table, which is always really good to make a better use of your time at Disney. Sorry. All right, so yeah, Cape May Cafe we've never been to. I'm the only one in my family that really wants seafood or likes seafood, so we've just always skipped it. So I'm hoping one time we get to go. Their quick service there, Beach Club Marketplace. Yeah,
Give a
I'm
big
the same
thumbs
way.
down. Big thumbs down. This summer, when we were all hungry, the choices were like hot dog or chicken fingers. The salad was really pathetic. Like that, for being that nice of a resort and that big of a resort, for being a deluxe resort, come on, you can do better than that. I mean, it was, and it's also in the like part gift shop too, which makes no sense to me. I was incredibly underimpressed with it. I feel like I'm
That's
being
a common theme.
disrespectful.
That's a very common theme with the Crescent Lake resorts, though, is the quick service dining is very subpar.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess you have Epcot right there, but come on. They
But
can do
not
better.
for breakfast though, because the international gateway isn't open that early. So that's what stinks about it, is there's no good options there. And Beach Club Marketplace, like to be honest, from our standpoint as like an needing allergy friendly meals, they have no good options whatsoever. So it's yeah, it's just not good. But I do love the store that it's in, because they, again, one of my big things is the resort specific products or merchandise, and they do a pretty good job of having Beach Club stuff
they have
there, which is cool.
stuff there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay, so the other place that's in the resort, well, it's actually in the pool, is Hurricane Hannah's. So Jody, when you talk about like not having good options for quick service in the resort, that this kind of helps that, because we went there last year when we stayed at Beach Club, and Hurricane Hannah's has really good food. I got like some type of seafood wrap, and Katie got a salad, and they were both really good.
It was closed every time we tried to go. I don't know if it was under refurbishment or if there was a staffing issue. We did see it open once, but we never timed it right where we could get in there. So just who knows?
Yeah. Well, I liked it. We only had it once, but it was really good, especially for how bad the inside quick service is.
Right.
And they do have a lounge too there.
Yep.
So at Beach Club they've got the Martha's Vineyard Lounge, which is, there's nothing real special about it. I mean, it's a typical lounge within Disney. They've got some really good drinks like the smoked turkey and stuff, and the bartenders are pretty good there. But I've never seen that place busy, which is good and bad. So if you're ever looking for somewhere to just go relax, get some work done, Martha's Vineyard is a pretty good option for you. All right. So overall thoughts though on Beach Club, it seemed like everybody really liked Boardwalk. What's the consensus on Beach Club? Does everybody thumbs
I
up?
wouldn't have to
thumbs
stay
down?
there again.
No.
I'm glad we stayed there this summer. I'm glad that we gave it a try. If anywhere on Crescent Lake out of all 4 resorts, I actually like Swan and Dolphin the best. That's my absolute favorite out of the 4. But it was nice. I'm glad we went. I thought the pool it was maybe one of those things that was overhyped for me. I think it's awesome, but it was crowded. I mean, it was really hard to enjoy it when people are on top of you the whole time, because they share with Yacht Club. So
Yeah. Yep, and that's where I was going to go next, was talking about that pool that connects these two resorts. So at the beginning, we mentioned Beach Club and Yacht Club, very similar, but with different themes. So these two resorts are next to each other, and they right in the middle is they're awesome. I love the pool, and of course now that I'm blanking on the name.
Long Bay.
Yes. So Stormalong Bay, they have a sandy bottom section. They have what show is Sandy Bottoms from? Sorry. How I
SpongeBob.
Met Your Mother, right?
Oh yes, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so they've got the sandy bottom section. They've got like a cool waterfall, and then the slide is insanely cool. I mean, it's this giant pirate ship. But Jody, your point about it being crowded, I think we waited like 15 minutes on those steps with my kids to go down that slide, which when you're cold and wet and the wind's blowing, I mean, that's rough, especially when you got a bunch of little kids with you that just want to go down
And you
the
have to
slide.
cross the pathway, which I always think is really strange. Like here you are in your bathing suit, walking across the like people are walking to go to dinner, or they're walking to go to the resort, the parks, and you're like, "Excuse me, I'm in my bathing
Yeah.
suit, going to cross the street to go get on the ride to go on the steps to go down the big pirate slide."
Yeah.
I don't know. It just feels awkward. It just feels like you're not supposed to be doing that, but you
Yeah.
are. So
And parents like me, I'm a bit helicopter parenty, but I don't want my 4-year-old going
Right.
outside of the resort across a road or what a walkway and then into a different pool. Like that just I can't do
I
that.
wish they would make like a little overpass, like a little bridge above somehow so you didn't have so it was all self-contained because it does
Yeah.
just make you a little nervous. I mean, my
Yeah.
kids are old enough they can run around, but it is a little weird. Like I just felt weird being in my bathing suit crossing the road when all these people are doing whatever they were doing. And I'm like, pardon me, just
Yeah.
going down the slide. Excuse me, please.
Yeah, it is it's strange how that's set up. I don't understand it, but well,
But it's a great pool.
we're not
There's
changing
a lot to do. Landon had a
Yeah.
great time playing volleyball one time with a bunch of kids. There's always activity and action going on, and there's the lazy river little moving water that's also super fun. So yeah, listen, it was definitely the reason why we chose to stay at Beach Club. It was our pool day. We didn't go to any parks that day, and I'm certainly glad we did it. We were there in July. It was blazing hot,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it was a great day to do that.
That's a perfect resort too for the summer because it does have such a good kind of pool area. All right. So Yacht Club. I've never stayed at Yacht Club. I know it's not a DVC resort. Like Boardwalk and Beach Club both have DVC sections. Yacht Club does not. So I know there's a lot of like conferences and corporate type of events.
Yeah, because
held there.
Gene has stayed there, right, Gene?
Yeah.
Yes.
He's our resident expert on the Yacht Club.
Yeah, I mean, some people are good at some things, some people are good at others. I just happen to be a resident expert on the Yacht Club,
Good. Yeah, because I've only walked through it. So one thing I do know about it though, they have a lot of good restaurants in there. So I think you guys have all been to Ale and Compass, right? Last marathon weekend.
Yes.
Okay, so I think there's a Quackers and cheese on that, but from just a quick standpoint, what did you think of the food there, the ambiance? What did you like about it?
The ambiance was exquisite.
I would expect no less.
I remember telling Gene not to lean up against the wall because the wall had syrup on it. And he was like,
I forgot about that. I'd eaten there before too. I'd eaten there for dinner before when I stayed there, but I'd not eaten the spectacular. I don't know that I have the right words to describe the pancakes that we had that were just bacon pancakes. You hear me? Bacon blueberry pancakes.
Blueberry pancakes.
Oh my goodness. Scrumptious is good.
Scrumdiddlyumptious.
My daughter uses scrumdiddlyumptious all the time. Yeah, man, that's probably I don't know if I can describe it better than that. It was so good, and I needed pancakes after. I don't know what was that, the 5K.
So we went.
10K?
No, it was a 10K. It was a 10K.
Mm-hmm.
So we went there after the 10K this year, and this is probably one of the only things that I can add to this discussion. that was one of the best breakfasts I've ever had. I think maybe I was just starving, or it was for that, and it was really just so good.
It was the company, probably, Kevin.
It was
that
the
just
company. Yeah,
did
Yeah.
for
it
you.
was.
I remember during the 10K saying to Lonnie, man, I could eat some biscuits and gravy or something. I'm starving to death. And then I think we might have imposed ourselves upon Jeff and his party.
You got stuck.
I don't
And
know.
then you got stuck in the
You
Skyliner.
got stuck on the Skyliner.
we got stuck on the Skyliner. Yeah, but it wasn't that bad.
But
We were a
Gene met
little
some
late.
friends. He did.
Yeah, I did. Just what you do.
And they have good mimosas too.
The Skyliner has
Yeah.
mimosas.
No.
Oh,
Oh,
I
sorry.
was like,
I'm
"Ooh,
sorry.
this is a new
I know,
development."
I wasn't on that Skyliner, but the shrimp and grits were pretty good too. So yeah, I think we're planning another meetup over there for us to go all get together and eat. So I'm looking forward to it.
And I
If
thought
it-
I wanted biscuits and gravy. I'm so glad that I got bacon blueberry pancakes because they're so amazing. They were so
They are.
amazing. I dream about those pancakes.
If I
I've tried
remember
them
right
making-
too, isn't that where Jody thought that Gene and Lonnie were a couple?
Yep, I think so. I think so.
You know what, man? You were my wife called a holder. Always bringing stuff up.
Scorekeeper.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
See, Jody, you didn't have to say that.
No, you did. So Kevin, what did you think of the resort since you were there for breakfast? Got to walk around a little bit and check it out.
I really like the area that is in front of it there. So you have the kind of the beach area where you can get out and walk in the sand. That felt pretty good after running. Most of my experience before that was just running by during the marathon. A lot of the races actually run the boardwalk, which, is pretty cool. But, being able to see it without running through it was really nice. And being able to walk from there over to Epcot was pretty cool too. So.
I'm definitely a New England girl. I love New England. So where the boardwalk is a little too flashy and bright lights and too much for me, Yacht Club is a little more chill, more New England feel. They have, rocking chairs sitting out on the porch there. That's kind of more my vibe. So I like it over there. I've never stayed at the Yacht Club. I don't know what the rooms are like or what but that's kind of more my, if you want a little nightlife, you can walk over to the boardwalk, but it doesn't have to be right in your face. So I kind of like the Yacht Club area a little bit more.
Enough the beach and the yacht club for me. I like the darker wood tones better than the brighter colors of the beach club too.
So when we went in there and we left, there's a restaurant right next door that we walked through. What was that?
Yachtsman's? The
Is that
steakhouse?
no, it was like it seemed like a counter service place.
There's a counter service place inside the gift shop of the yacht club.
Maybe that was it.
And there's like a little lounge right beside Ale and Compass as well.
I think that was it. We walked through that on the way out. I remember.
Could be.
Has anybody eaten at Yachtman Steakhouse?
No.
Yes.
No. Oh, was it good?
Yeah, it was really good. I was mistaken. I was thinking it because they're right next to each other. And, I don't remember things. I was thinking that I'd eaten dinner at Ale and Compass, but it was actually Yachtsman when I was there for work. It was good. I enjoyed it.
We've looked at it, but just never pulled the trigger.
Yeah, it's one of those places that I would go if it was just me and Katie, but I don't want to tow 5 kids into that place. So
my problem is I'm really good at grilling steaks, and I like the steaks that I make at home, and so it's hard for me to find one that I enjoy out. So that's why if I'm going out for a signature restaurant on the Crescent Lake area, I'm typically going to Flying Fish because they do things there that I don't know how to do. Like if you like the bacon and egg appetizer at Steakhouse 71, you have got to try that Flying Fish. It is absolutely incredible. Right. It's so good. I mean, it's ridiculously good. And we've had great experience over there. I love my Cali Grill. It's pretty high up there with Cali Grill. That's how much I like it. Mm-hmm.
That's another one we see every time we're there and we're like, we need to go to this place and we never do.
And it's gorgeous and the staff is great. The chandelier in there is worth just going in and looking at the chandelier. It's really cool. So
I'm gonna have to try it next time we go.
But anyway, back to Yacht Club. Sorry.
But Yacht Club, no, it's funny because talking about the 2 different themes. I mean, really, to me, that's the only thing that sets the 2 different resorts apart is the theming is so different. And to me, I'm more, I think, like I like the vibe over at Beach Club a little bit better. Yacht Club, I actually feel like more out of place there than I did at Grand Floridian for some reason. I don't know. Like to me, it's like super fancy and everything that, like you said, Jeff, the dark tones and just the yachting thing.
Jeff, you need to doff like a captain's hat. You know those white ones, like that, like the captain, like Captain and Tennille, that kind of hat. You need to doff a hat like that. You'll fit right in. It'd be great. I think they even sell them in the gift shop. Matter of fact, I know they do. I don't have one. I've never bought one, but I'm just saying.
All right. Well, all right. So the other two resorts are really another combined resort. But these are not Disney-owned hotels. The Swan and Dolphin. Those I've never been inside of them, but I know we've looked at it because they have really good rates through Costco and some of the other travel websites. But we've just never done it. What are
The
your
one
guys'
thing you got to
thoughts?
watch for with the rates, though, is there are resort fees and things that gets added onto there that you might not be aware of that really adds to the price.
Like the
I've got-
Ticketmaster issue. Tickets are $5. Somehow you pay $175.
So I'm curious about that. So you got two resorts that are within the Disney bubble, right? What are the downsides of staying in something like that rather than a beach club, yacht club? I mean, is there a downside? I mean, what?
Well, let's talk about the positives. Positives is they've got this amazing smell. They have this white ginger tea scent that they pump through the resort that is addictive. And then if you are part of Marriott, because it's Westin, I think, which is part of the Marriott brand, you get this special lotion if you're part of their, and it's so fantastic that like I would be like, do you have extra lotion? Because it's that great. Tim actually bought me a set of it for Christmas or Mother's Day or something one year because I love it that much. But they're not overly in your face Disney themed. He was there for a work convention, and I think it was perfect for that, for business type convention. They had a lovely event outside within the two resorts that they had tables and servers and music and band and all that stuff. I think it's awesome if you had a wedding and you had some non-Disney people or a convention or something like that. Or if you are a person who is, you don't know about Disney, you don't want it in your face, you don't want to be at like Art of Animation where it's blah, it's in your face, you are at Disney. It's more like it is. It's a Marriott and Westin, so it's of that caliber and of that niceness. Now, I have to say we got upgraded when we were there, so we're in this absolutely gorgeous room. So maybe that's why I have fond memories of it. But it gives you all the benefit of being, the walkability to Epcot and Hollywood Studios. The pool there is unbelievable. I think it's one of the better pools in that area, to be perfectly honest. People really don't know much about it, but it's got a great waterfall. It's huge. It's nice. The workout facilities there are really, really good. And I didn't really eat there, but apparently there's some fantastic restaurants. I'm not a big fan of Italian food, and I guess there's some Italian restaurant that is really, really good there, that the prices are better. So I don't know. I think if it was just Tim and I, it would be a great option. I'm not sure that my children would like it because I don't think it's enough Disney for the kids, if that makes sense.
And Jody,
to Jody's point, I think Amari is the restaurant, does the Italian restaurant. That's pretty good. There's a steakhouse there, Shula's. Pretty good. Shula's. I mean, you want a steak, they're pretty good. Yeah. Also, they have their own food and wine festival weekend that they do there.
Is it international?
Butterfly.
It is international.
They have a South American booth.
And they do, and they have steak there or something. But Jody's point, the one good thing about it, Kevin, if you have a lot of Marriott points, you can use them there to stay.
Okay.
It's kind of high end on the level of how many points you need to stay there. But a lot of food options. There's a karaoke bar that's in between both of them, right? So,
Komodos.
Yep. And there's just a lot of you'll see a lot of conventions staying there though. So that's one of the things as well. So, but overall, not a bad spot to be at, right? To Carl's point, I mean, you have access to the boardwalk, just a quick walk to get there. So There's a lot of positives to staying there, especially like I said, if you are a Marriott person.
I really like those. I really like those hotels, and I like the restaurant. I mean, you know, we've talked about my relationship with food. I've stayed there for work several times and really enjoy it. Shula's, I love Shula's. I love a high-end steakhouse. It's my favorite kind of restaurant. I make a pretty mean steak too. However, it's always better for me when somebody else is cooking it. You know, and they have accoutrements that I don't do, that I don't produce with my own hand, you know. But kimonos, you mentioned kimonos as far as karaoke. I mean, you get sushi and karaoke at the same place. That's pretty great, you know. Pretty great. It's a good spot, like Lonnie said, for sure.
That alone makes me want to stay there.
I'd like to try it. I think that would be great. Being able to be right there, and you know,
was it the sushi and the karaoke that sold you, or what?
That'd be, yeah, I think it was.
Or was it the accoutrements?
Accoutrements, yes.
So that sold me. I want to go back just because of that.
One of the downsides to Swan and Dolphin is they recently changed their busing. It's fine for Epcot and it's fine for Hollywood Studios because again you can walk. Animal Kingdom it's okay because it's still going to drop you off with all the other buses. But for Magic Kingdom they do not drop at the regular bus stops at Magic Kingdom anymore. They drop it to TTC and then you have to take it around. So that is a downside now.
Okay.
But you know, you can an easy way around that is it's close enough. Walk over to Yacht Club and take the bus from there. I mean, Disney may not want you doing that, obviously, but yeah, that'll just be our little secret with us.
Hey, one other downside, if you're going to eat at Shula's, I mean, you gotta, men have to wear khakis, slacks, dress shorts or shorts. So, I mean, that's not that bad. Jeans can be worn if they're in good condition. No holy jeans. Sport coats are optional. Women have to wear dress pants, skirts, dresses, or dress shorts. Jeans, again, can be worn if they're in good condition. But hey, Lonnie, I want you to know this. No tank tops, no swimsuit cover-ups, no hats for gentlemen, no cutoffs, no jorts, okay? And no T-shirts with offensive language or graphics. So
you have to be a Dolphins fan.
Can I bring back jeggings?
Yeah. Can you wear
you try.
Jersey?
Say again?
Can you wear a Dan Marino jersey?
I bet you'd get in. You probably get best table in a place with that.
Gotcha.
It's amazing how that just rolls off your tongue. Their policy is awesome.
Well, I mean, as we know, I'm an expert at the yacht club. I've stayed at Swan and Dolphin, so I just know these things.
I tried to get in with my Ray Finkel jersey, and they wouldn't let me.
Guys, is there anything else about Swan and Dolphin or any of the other Crescent Lake resorts or that area that you'd like to share that we haven't covered yet?
I got a question about the rooms. So are the rooms different in the Swan and Dolphin? Are they both Marriott, or I mean, is there theming or anything like that?
They're similar. I mean,
it's a standard Marriott room. It had, double beds or king size. It had, the little fridge. Just basically a standard Marriott.
I will tell you there is one difference that on the top of the Swan, there's a big swan. On the top of the Dolphin, there's a big dolphin. Not like the flipper dolphin, but like the fish.
It looks
dolphin.
like a fish
mahi
in a dolphin.
Like mahi.
The delicious dolphin.
The delicious dolphin, exactly.
Like when we stayed there a while ago, I mean, they did have some very subtle Disney stuff, right? Like going down the hall and stuff like that. But overall, it's a solid choice, right? If you if you look at the price independent, it's kind of on par with some of the the moderate resorts. So
but then again, you have to add, like Jeff said, that per day resort fee will really get you.
It'll take you to deluxe prices.
So I would not book in the, via Costco or any of those places. I would definitely look at the Marriott site directly and do a direct compare to the other resorts because, because it will show you, if you click on the button, it will say, put all my fees in there. And then you can see the true real price as opposed to what it was before. So,
and then you go when you see it.
Sure.
I'm going to the yacht club instead.
That shows up really well in an audio podcast, Lonnie.
It really does.
I did it again.
Thanks for that question, Kevin. Any other thoughts? Anything else we missed, or any other questions about those? The Crescent Lake area as a whole.
No, I think it's a great place to stay for the most part.
Mhm.
I think you should try it out if you get a chance. And like I said, it's our go-to area whenever we're going.
I mean, as is a lot of the Disney properties, it's a nice place. Nice digs if you can get them. Um, with that being said, this brings us to our favorite part of the podcast, and that's quacking up with the ducks. You guys want to play quacking up with the ducks with me?
Sure.
Yeah, great.
I didn't know
Lonnie,
it
you
was
want to
an
kick us
option.
off? Yeah, it's really not. I'm trying to be nice. As when your manager asks what your thoughts are about something, and they don't really care. They just want you to feel like you have buy-in. That's kind of what this is.
Hmm.
You kick us off, Lonnie?
Sure. Mine is not really a joke, but I was talking to, I think we mentioned earlier, Gene and I were talking about Australia today. And I also told him, I said, man, I'm thinking about going to see my chiropractor at least one time before the marathon weekend. And he said, well, why don't you go? That's a good idea. And I said, well, man, I don't know. I don't think she's pretty good. But now after I think about it, I stand corrected.
Nice. I like it. Jeff.
We're talking about Crescent Lake and how nice it is. That's one of my favorite pictures to get in the mornings whenever you first walk out of the resorts. None of the boats and stuff are running. There's no wind. You see all the reflections of the water and everything.
Yeah.
And it really got me thinking. I really like scenery of like mountain lakes and everything. Whenever we travel, I like to be in there and look down at the mountain lakes because a lot of them are really gorgeous.
Really gorgeous.
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
That's good stuff right there. I mean, that's a thinking man's joke right there, Jeff. I like that.
Thinking, man.
Kevin, what you got for us?
So I wasn't able to add a whole lot to the whole Crescent Lake thing, and I didn't go too far out of the rules on the question, even though I said maybe go into outer space. But did you hear about the restaurant on the moon?
Uh-uh.
It's great, but it just has no atmosphere.
Nice. Jody, what you got for us?
Well, today's Tuesday, so I went to Orange Theory, and they have coaches that help coach you along. And the coach Mike was saying to me, he's like, Jody, you should really do some more lunges to make sure that you stay in shape. And I was like, oh yeah, that would be a really big step forward.
Nice. Nice.
That's a good one.
I didn't come prepared with a joke, but I did want to tell you guys about something that happened to me earlier. I was at the ATM, and I saw this guy standing. It was the weirdest thing. I mean, picture this. This guy standing there typing, puts his card in, types in his code, and he lifts one leg, and he's standing on one leg. It was the weirdest thing. And my daughter was with me. I said, you think he's all right? I don't know. Well, let's ask him. So I said, are you okay? And he said, I'm just checking my balance. Thanks for the courtesy laugh, guys. Appreciate it so much.
That was good.
Thanks everybody for your participation. For all my co-hosts, thank you everybody that's listening. We couldn't do this without you guys. We need your help though. We need ideas. We love your feedback. We love hearing what you think about the show. We love your ideas as far as what we should cover in the show or things we can include in the show. We're smart folks, but we can definitely benefit from all your expertise as well. Also, your reviews, 5-star reviews, only 5, just 5-star reviews. Thank you so much for that. And with that being said, John's not here to say it, but anybody want to say it for him?
Kwaherini, everybody.
Yeah. Hey, we can relive the Cowboys' glory days from their Super Bowl.
But nobody's got a VHS.
I found a VHS tape right here.
Okay, so the question for tonight. Okay, so tonight we're doing the Crescent Lake Resorts, right?
Right.
What is
Why am I on this show? I don't even know what that. I don't even know
either.
I have no idea what that even is.
No,
Is it
man.
Just
Okay.
you?
Oh, I understand what you're saying. Okay.
Is it just you, or is it your family, or what?
Family. Your family.
Okay.
Your immediate family.
What if I don't want them there?
That's fine too, Gene. That's fine. Hopefully Jeff's already recording this because that would be really.
I didn't say I did. I'm saying what if.
I have returned. Okay.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I don't know what happened with that just now.
You want to take over?
Yeah.
We're in Crescent Lake Gene, Crescent Lake.
Jody, you hurt you hurt me. You don't even know how you hurt me. Fun show as always. Lonnie, thanks for laughing at me the whole time and contributing to my my lack of self-esteem. Thank you so much for that. Jeff, I screwed this all up. I'm never hosting again.
This is all staying in, Gene. No worries. We're good.
Yeah. You want me to do it again or no?
No, we're good.